Hey, hi everyone. Welcome to another video as a part of our political economy and public policy series. So, today we will discuss about a concept called as reserve currency and why USD is the reserve currency of the world and why is it used and accepted for international trading by all countries and why other countries or other currencies are not used and as reserve currency and can other countries and currencies uh, be used as a reserve currency instead of USD. We will go through some historical examples of what the reserve currency was there before USD in the world based on timeline across the globe. So that's the topic for today, USD reserve currency. And we will also see how the reserve currency evolved over time and why USD is the reserve currency which is accepted by international for international trading. Okay. So why is US dollar the reserve currency of the world? What is a reserve currency first? So a reserve currency is one which is held in large quantities by central banks and financial institutions to settle international transactions, back their own currency, and intervene in foreign exchange markets. So reserve currency is one which is held in large quantities by central banks and financial institutions, and it's used to settle international transactions. And also, it is used to intervene in foreign exchange markets and back their own currency. Why US dominates? US dominates because a combination of reasons. It has economic scale, so its economy is economic size is very high, very big, and it has a stable economy, and there's trust on US economy also, and network effects also contribute to USD being the reserve currency of the world. So different factors, we'll go through each one in detail. US economic size and stability. So after World War II, US was the largest economy and industrial base, and US produced nearly half of the global GDP in 1945. And US has the deepest financial markets and a strong and stable political system. So that gives that's a very good reason for being the reserve currency of the world. Use economic size and stability and deep financial markets and strong and stable political system. The other reason is Bretton Woods Agreement in 1944. The Bretton Woods Agreement, what happened as a part of that agreement is USD was pegged to gold, and other currencies were pegged to the USD. So this made USD as good as gold, and central banks trusted it. Okay. Then depth and liquidity of US financial markets. So US Treasury bonds are the world's most liquid and safest assets, and central banks need liquid, safe reserves. So no other country offers comparable scale and liquidity. Okay. So US Treasury bonds being liquid and safe assets also is one of the reasons why USD is the reserve currency of the world, other than US economic size and political stability and Bretton Woods Agreement. Network effects and trade settlement. So oil, commodities, global trade invoicing uses USD. And once most of the world trades in USD, everyone else also prefers USD to reduce FX risk. It's a self-reinforcing cycle. Military and geopolitical power. So US Navy secures global trade routes, and dollar dominance is also backed by US global influence and trust in US institutions. Okay. So that's the reasons, various reasons why USD is a national reserve currency. Why aren't other currencies used the same way? So other major currencies face structural limits like euro. It has a large economy, liquid bond market is there, but it lacks a unified fiscal authority. Different governments are there because the different countries are there. It has fragmented debt markets. Okay, so it's not a unified fiscal authority is not there, and different governments or fragmented debt markets are there. That's why US euro is not uh, become the world's reserve currency. Japanese yen, it's safe, but economy is very small, so markets are not as deep. Chinese yuan, China is large, but currency is not fully convertible. Capital controls are there, and trust is limited on China. British pound, historically important, but UK economy is small relative to global trade now. And Indian rupee, largest domestic economy, but not yet global in trust, liquidity, and acceptance. So USD remains dominant. 59% of global reserves are USD, as per IMF 2023. Could other currencies replace USD? Yes, in theory. Requirements for a reserve currency are large, stable economy behind it, deep liquid financial markets, widely accepted in trade invoicing internationally, political, military, geopolitical stability, and full convertibility and trust. So these if other currencies have, they could replace USD as the reserve currency. Candidates are euro. Already 20% of world reserves are euro. It could grow if eurozone integrates more fiscally. Chinese yuan, RMB. China is pushing for it. BRICS trade belt and road SIPS payments. Still only 3% of global reserves because of capital controls. SDRs, IMF basket currency like USD, Euro, Japanese yen, GBP, CNY could become more important if multipolar system emerges. Gold, Bitcoin, and digital currencies. Some argued that these could be alternatives, but volatility and lack of liquidity or barriers for gold, Bitcoin, and digital currencies as a reserve currency. Historical reserve currencies timeline. So reserve currencies have shifted with global economic and military power. So 13th to 15th century, Venice, florin or ducat was there. It was used across Europe for trade in the Renaissance period. 16th to 17th century, Spanish silver dollar was there. Pieces of 8. Spanish Empire dominated trade, and silver from the Americas circulated globally. 17th to 18th century, Dutch guilder, Netherlands. Amsterdam was global financial center. Dutch East India Company traded worldwide. 19th century, this British pound sterling was the reserve currency. Okay, and Britain's industrial revolution, global empire, and London being the financial center, and sterling was dominant until World War One. Mid 20th century, U.S. dollar became the reserve currency. After World War Two, U.S. replaced UK as global superpower, and Bretton Woods cemented USD role. And gold standard was there initially, but then fiat became dominant. 1970s petrodollar system, oil priced in USD, locked in demand for dollars. So current situation, USD dominance is there. It's 59% of official reserves is USD. Euro is 20%. RMB is 3%. Yen pound contribute to 5 to 6%. Gold is also regaining importance as central banks wants to diversify. BRICS nations are actively exploring alternatives to USD reliance in trade. Key takeaway: US dollar is still the reserve currency because of trust, liquidity, depth of financial markets, stability, political stability, network effects. Built since 1944, other currencies can play larger roles, but structural constraints limit them. Historically, reserve currencies always shift when the global center of economic power shifts, like it shifted from Spain to Netherlands to UK to US. And a multipolar reserve system like USD plus Euro plus RMB plus STR plus gold is possible in the coming decades, but no single alternative is close to replacing the USD yet. So that's the topic today, guys. USD is a reserve currency. Why it is a reserve currency? What are other currencies? Why other currencies are not used the same way? Could other currencies replace USD? How the reserve currency changed over the historical timeline? Okay, so that's it for today. Thanks everyone. Have a nice day. Bye.